Welcome. Good morning, good evening, late afternoon, konnichiwa, bonjour, but not au revoir, as the French say, because we're just getting started. This is Space Traders. As Space Traders, we tell you the value of a stock, while others just tell you the price. I am the rocket scientist, and to my right or left, if you're in the bathroom looking at a mirror watching this, is the stock Jedi. You want to tell us
going on,
about what's
everyone?
going on, man?
Hope you guys are having a great day, great trading week. That's what we're here. We hope that the force is strong with you and the stocks that you have chosen. And David, that is an interesting juice you are having there.
Yeah, I didn't want to do product ad just because I don't want people like, if our program sucks, you know, I don't want to be like Juicy Juice coming after me like, dude.
Well, at least it's better than the blue juice that Luke Skywalker was drinking out of that boob of that animal in The Last Jedi.
should be The Last Jedi after that, right? But you know what? That doesn't, I'll tell you something, man. That's nice. But when The Empire Strikes Back, remember the tom-toms?
Oh my
and
God.
Like that one got cut open, just spliced down, like some horror flick, you know, from Quentin Tarantino. And do you remember what they did? Actually lived inside, like Han Solo was like all nuzzled up in intestine. Yeah. Okay, let's get to stocks.
Yeah. Stocks, space, or stocks that rocket to outer space, the way I
like. That's right. That's right. In fact, here's one of our topics today. We're going to talk today about some warnings and some little caveats and suggestions to you day traders. And let's start right into that DA person, whatever you are. Riddle me this. What is a trade limit?
A limit is a number that you set for an action to take place, a specific number. So most people understand that as a buy limit or a sell limit. And it's where when you decide to make a trade, you notify your broker or your brokerage app, whatever you're using, that at this set dollar amount, it'll trigger whatever action you want to take place. And the reason why a limit is good is because it's designed to do the action at the price you want, not leaving it up to the market, right? The other way I kind of see it, and probably an easier way to explain it, is not buying or selling anything at retail price, right? If I want to buy a stock,
a garage sale analogy, I think you were talking garage sale.
Yeah, it's like when you go to a garage sale and you find, there's something you want to buy, and the guy's selling it for like $10. Well, you don't buy it for $10. You always buy it at a discount, right? Because it feels better. You make an offer, and hopefully he hits you on that offer. And if he doesn't, you may consider raising your offer a little bit, but you're certainly not going to give him $10, right?
No, I'm always like that when I'm buying ceramic Tweety birds from TJ. That's always big on me.
What's the way I look at buying stocks too, especially when you start seeing runs? You don't want to chase the stock and buy it at its current price. In fact, I think we all will agree, if you can get a stock if you believe in a stock, right, and it's going to the moon, rocketing to the moon, you always want to get it at the cheapest price possible. So rather than charting it every single minute of every single day, if you like it after you've done your research, you go, okay, you know what? I like this stock, but I want to get a better margin on it. So let me buy it if it dips down at this price. So you set a buy limit at a specific order at a specific share price. And you can do that on any of the brokerage apps. That way you're buying it at a discount from what it currently stands. And that's how you should. Don't chase profits like that, because oftentimes when you see a spike in a stock, you're a little bit late, you're a little bit behind. But if you're doing your right research and you think it's going to get higher at some point, well, trust this, that line's not going all the way up. There will be dips.
I mean, like Ice Cube
saw today.
Yeah, like Ice Cube says, life isn't a track meet, it's a marathon. Although even that said, and myself being a long-term investor, where I put 80% of my portfolio in long-term investments, i.e. I'm going to hold it for 3 months to a year. And of course, 20% is going to be short-term. On those short terms, though,
like if you're You know, Tesla was on a nice run in the month of January, right? Flirting with $900 a share. And if you wanted to jump into Tesla, my recommendation would have been something a little less than 900. Don't buy it at its peak, right? So put a buy limit in at 850, 825, 800. Today it went as low as like 790 something, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, stocks will go down. And, you know, when they do go down is the perfect time to pull that trigger or have your limit buy be triggered so that you get a great deal on it.
Yeah, and another thing too is just from a holistic point of view, you don't want to burn all of the juice in your cup staring at daily stock. A man smarter than me once said that, look, every day you've got, pretend this is water or juice or I don't know, turtle pea, whatever. But the point is that every day you've got a full cup, and the full cup represents your energy. Where are you going to pour that full cup? Are you going to pour it out just staring at stock, at that one stock? You're just praying that you click buy or sell at the right price. You're not working smarter. You're working harder.
Right. So it's definitely something that a lot of you folks who are new at jumping in the market, I know we're talking to a lot of you about that. It's a great discipline to have to buy, to do limit orders instead of just market orders, because sometimes on market orders, you can get screwed on the price. You think you're buying something at $12 a share, but as you're inputting the order, especially if you're doing it after hours, by the time it activates, it might be triggered at $16 or $20. So you're out even more. We
Yeah,
saw a lot of that during the
absolutely.
meme craze, the meme stock craze.
Yeah, exactly. That thing was going up and down, like a kangaroo on
Well, it was funny
barbiturates.
because on social media, you would see people being upset, be like, hey, I put an order in. I wanted to buy this stock at $12. That's what I put it in. And then all of a sudden, Robinhood didn't, when they finally processed the order, they processed it at 22. And I'm like, did you put in a market order? Did you put in a limit order? And they're like,
Right.
what's that?
Yeah, some of my money went to Friar Truck, that drunkard and Robin Hood. No, that's not where it went. You want to have a certain sense of confidence and certainty, and that comes with doing order limits. Now, if you don't want to marry that, if you just want to date that kind of philosophy, that kind of mindset, there's apps that you can do for cryptocurrency as well as just stocks where they'll give you market alerts. You download the app and it's going to just give you a little ping or a ding or, whatever these young kids get on their phones. I don't know. I've got a Nokia, but it
Jesus.
will let you know when it gets to a certain price. And then you can make a decision. If you kind of want to look at your portfolio as dating, here we go. If you want to kind of look at your portfolio as dating, okay, let's say you're dating 10 to 12 different chicks. Okay, let's say it's Utah. That's fine. Okay, a lot of rocks, a lot of space, a lot of room for separate housing. So let's say you're going out with 10 to 12 people. All right. And you've got eight or maybe nine, which is going to comprise 80%. Those people are your long terms. Okay. So they're in their houses, they're doing their things. You visit them once a year. Okay. How is child? How is baby? How's your life? Okay. The ones that are short term, they're going to be itching in the back of your head constantly. And so get something that's an app, get order buys, make it smooth for you. So you're just not inundated. You're not wasting all your juice all day. I personally, myself, I will make 1 to 2 day trades per week. Okay. That's it. I don't know. What about you, man? What's your take on day trading?
Well, day trading requires a certain amount of discipline. You can't be an emotional day trader. You certainly can't chase. Day traders are notorious for,
Have we talked about day trading? What's a round trip? Have we explained that? Do you want to go into what a round trip is?
well, I mean, day trading are for folks that literally trade, buy, and sell in the stock market on a regular basis to make income, right?
Yeah.
These are not people necessarily saving for retirement. They may have a portfolio that does that, but day trading is putting yourself in a position to basically trade frequently in the market within the week to generate recurring revenue for you. So, but being able to do that requires a tremendous amount of discipline. a tremendous amount of understanding of fundamental and technical analysis, that you're doing your homework and you're studying. And most importantly, because there are just a bazillion stocks out there to look at, you set up proper alerts.
And not to mention too, there are so many variables that you're never going to get a perfect science to this. I mean, you've got the variables of Bitcoin now influencing the market, and that's just added to the regular variables of the Fed interest rate, things like, weather going down, in half the country, as I know you talked about in a previous episode. So I think it's really smart that a round trip, by the way, is when you buy a stock and sell a stock during the market hours. Now, market hours, for Pacific time, New York Stock Exchange is going to be from 6:30 to 1 o'clock. Let's get into a little bit of patterns here. I do have a suggestion on patterns. I want to get your feedback on this here. I tend to notice that at the beginning, before the market opens, if a stock is going to start rocketing, you can see it already starting to gain a little momentum. So you kind of put it on the radar. And then in that first half hour, I feel like to hour, you're knowing if that stock is rocketing. And then I'm just talking about stocks that rocket, all right, that shoot up more than 5% on any given day. That's kind of my definition on that one. And then by, maybe 2 hours into the market, you're getting around 10 o'clock, things start to kind of oscillate a little bit, so in the morning, if it's done its rocket, by 10 o'clock, it's starting to hit some resistance points. It's starting to oscillate back and forth. And then as you get to the end of the market, the last half hour, that's when people are making their decisions, whether to sell off their profits or to keep charging. Again, this is just general pattern on a stock that's going up 5%. I don't know what
right. I mean, I recognize the same.
Is that all BS, or that's just what I've noticed?
Day traders, for the most part, if you're on West Coast time, the sell spikes I see are usually around 10:30 a.m. as well as 12:30 p.m. So let's say I got in a stock early in the morning between 6:30 and 7 a.m. If it continues to rise all the way up to around 10:30 to 11 a.m., I may go ahead and sell it. My round trip over there is really short, because I'm anticipating a sell-off. Now,
right, a correction.
Some people may wait until later in the afternoon, right after lunch, for that sell-off,
right,
profits. But at the same time, day traders are also looking for bargain opportunities at that time.
Right. So I think more the way I want to structure this advice is look at the last half hour of trading hours as a point of interest, where you're going to see activity going up or going down, where people are buying in or dropping off. And usually in the middle of the day, things kind of start to subside, whether it's from going up or from going down. That's just kind of a general thing I've noticed.
Day traders have it, they have quite the stressful day, because not only are they charting, but they're also reacting to all the news that's being shared during the day, which can tremendously affect how the stock functions throughout the day. Especially in the morning, around like 10 or 11 a.m. East Coast time is when reports from the White House come out. Whether it's job reports, unemployment, stimulus package, what's going on with that. That's why you'll see in many cases, like this morning, in some cases, you'll see in the initial half hour, stock is doing really well. And then it does a quick plummet based on the news that's coming out.
Now since you're talking about variables that affect stocks, let's talk at one that's a little more predictable over the last 100 years. And that is the federal lending rate. And the federal interest rate is the rate that the federal government lends out money, and lends it out, whether it's to banks, and of course they trickle down and they lend it out to human beings. Stupid bankers. Also, that money goes out to businesses. It goes out to people that basically, if the lending rate, you want to take this here? Well, what happens when the lending rate goes up?
Well, when the interest rate goes up, the cost of borrowing money becomes more difficult. So for people who are looking to get a mortgage rate, that's going to go up, right? Loans for whether it's a personal loan, any type of business loan, that's all going to be more difficult to borrow. Now, and usually the reason why the interest rate will go up is the federal government is trying to combat inflation and make the availability of cash to people a little bit more restrictive because it's creating a problem. And
Right,
so the
because
interest
when
rate is really
inflation
just a
happens,
barometer of how the federal government perceives the economy is doing.
right, because when the interest rate goes up, sorry, when the inflation rate goes up, things become more expensive. When things become more expensive, people don't want to buy as many things. And that's bad for businesses. And businesses pay taxes to the government, which is basically their bread and butter. So what governments want to do is governments want to spurn on people to purchase more things. So what they're going to do is they're going to reduce the interest rate that you're going to pay to basically get money from them. And that encourages people to go out and get more money and take out equity loans on their houses and go purchase more stuff. Now, what's been happening during COVID is obviously people haven't been buying anything because we had just unprecedented amount of unemployment. I mean, God, in California, we got up to like 17% for a shake of a lamb's tail at one point.
Yeah.
So as a result, the government said, hey, these businesses are going dry. So now, not only do we have an unprecedented low interest rate, which, by the way, you want to be watching the Fed rate if you are a stock purchaser, okay? And so we have such a low rate now that people are taking money out of their houses, they're borrowing money from banks. And because it's COVID, once again, okay, not only are people buying things, but also there's certain areas of our economy where they don't have the money. There's no desire to put the money into. Nobody's going to Vegas and spending all of that money. Nobody's taking these crazy luxurious trips right now. The buying stuff is very essential needs-based stuff. Now, stocks, what you want to do as COVID's getting better, you want to ask yourself, what are the wants? What are those want stocks that people want? Those actual activities like going on cruise ships, like taking trips, like buying the little extras that they couldn't buy before because they lost their job or they didn't have a monetary supply.
Yeah, I mean, I think the key thing to watch during a pandemic is really understanding the differences between wants and needs, as you are describing here, right?
Yes.
Now, when the interest rate being low, there's more cash available to people, right? And the reason that's the case is, as you said, spending is limited. So they want to make sure money is cheap to borrow so that people can survive. But then there are other people that are taking advantage of that opportunity to refinance a house, liquidate assets more so that they have more cash. And it's also the reason why we're seeing a lot more new investors in the market, right?
Absolutely. Let's not forget GME. I mean, all of those doofuses that rode that train all the way till it crashed, nothing personal. I hope you made money. Yay, Dragon Trojan Game 2 coming out in GameStop along with Mario Brothers 37. So let's support that. But the point is that, a lot of those new market people, they went through the GME roller coaster. Now they're hooked, and so and as a result of that, dude, the Dow just finished, what was it at? 3156 or something.
Right. We're at a point in modern financial history that despite a pandemic, the numbers are the highest it's ever been.
Yeah.
Right?
Is
and
it
I think
the
that's
highest?
spurred on by the race of people in the market of utilizing purchases of need versus want, as well as the influx of cash that is available for people to invest at this time.
And let's
It's
talk about
absolutely
needs.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. And let's talk about needs versus wants as a stock buyer mindset. And I think I've said this before. I'm going to say it again until the wheels fall off. Not if it's a Tesla car, though. That thing's going to last forever. Anyway, when you think about buying a stock, here's my advice from Rocket Science Dave person. That's not my real name. Anyway, when you buy a stock, ask yourself, is this company producing something that is a want or a need? And if it's producing something that is a want, do you believe that over time, the thing that they're producing is going to become a need? And can you give me an example of a stock like that, Sam?
That over time starts off as a want that becomes a need.
Yeah, what kind of business sector are we talking about? Like, are
Oh
we
man,
talking
there's a
about
lot.
solar power? Is that going to become a need now instead of a want as people go off the grid?
What's that?
What about solar power stocks? What about electric charging
Right.
stocks?
I think a lot of people look at green energy, things like solar powered roofs or solar batteries as a want because it's trendy, it's new, it's reducing the carbon footprint. Do you need it? No, because you have your regular energy grid that can supply you power, right? But over time, as the world transitions into renewable energy, those will become needs. It's not just a matter of, oh, I want to have this nice, cool solar panel. Oh, I want to have this cool best Tesla battery storage. We're seeing right now like a situation in Texas without stored power, people are don't have power in their homes, right? So in certain markets, it's definitely a need that people didn't even realize, a month ago when you didn't need to store battery power at your house, right?
Dude, yeah, think about okay. George Carlin once said that when the world is ready, it's going to shake us off like a bad case of fleas. There is a bigger determinant in your behavior every day than anything else. And I'm going to suggest to you it's the weather. The weather makes or breaks productivity in so many different things, whether it's, the icy snow and you're trying to get to work, or like we saw just in the recent news right now, we had millions of people down in power outages because of storms. Solar power and alternate forms of energy and battery storage stocks.
Storage, absolutely.
That battery storage takes you off the grid. Okay, it takes the forces of Mother Earth. There you go. Guess what? I'm independent. Okay.
Well, certainly as we anticipate electrification to continue and the deregulation of the distribution of energy, battery storage is going to be absolutely critical. And I think that's why Tesla's making such a big bet in electrification. And so, again, this is an opportunity for all you novice traders and newbies to take a look at what's going on in the world and understanding how that can impact the purchasing decisions of the future. And so usually that's really just solving a problem, right? Texas is a perfect example. How will Americans moving forward solve the problem of energy usage and consumption, especially in cases, in situations they can't control, like the weather? Do we want to rely on the state government or the federal government to come on in and regulate how that happens? Sure, we've been doing that for years, since the beginning of modern history here in the United States. But as we can see how that's changing and people want to take matters in their own hands, they're going to look for solutions that enable them to do that. And I think, battery storage is definitely a way to go. It's much more attractive now. If I was one of the individuals that was stuck without power, I would have wished I had some type of battery storage to power my house for 3 days.
In fact, you know what? On that note, I'm going to suggest there's a stock, and I'm not going to say whether it's good or bad, but I'm just going to leave it here for you guys. And I want everybody out there. I teach sixth grade, so this is all about I do, we do, you do, gradual release. Okay, I'm going to say a term right now, and it is a company. It's called Quantumscape, and we are going to nod for a second here, and then you are going to go do some research. Again, I didn't say buy it, but I want you to go look at Quantumscape, and I want you to see if that's something that really kind of is married to what we're talking about right now. One of the headings here is, did Quantumscape just solve a 40-year-old battery problem? And there's your teaser right there.
Yeah, and then while you guys are doing research, I mean, a quick question that you can ask yourselves is, and before you look up anything on the internet, you can ask yourselves, when the pandemic started, when COVID-19 hit American shores and everything was shut down, you could literally write down a list of things that are needs and wants. And then what you do is then you can look and see how the market performed right after COVID started and which companies performed the best during those first 4 or 5 months. The need companies or the want companies?
Absolutely. That's great. Great advice, man.
Right?
So I think I'm done on my end here. Is there anything you want to add to the pot of knowledge?
Well, I think today was a good first step in talking about discipline in terms of setting your expectations so that you're not buying on emotion. And like we said, talking about limit orders, right? Buying at the price that you choose, not letting the market choose for you. Secondarily, understanding some of the metrics that move the needle, right? We talked about the federal interest rate, which it's a good thing to point out, even though the fact that the interest rate right now isn't going to be moving a lot right now, mainly because of the pandemic still, but it's something that you should definitely know and understand. And then, of course, understanding the differences between the type of stocks you want to buy, needs versus wants, and what you anticipate their performance to be.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to close out, because you could sit here and you could look at 20 different measurable indicators of fundamental analysis and drive yourself nuts. Pick one or two things, like the RSI, or just I know I'm a big RSI guy, man.
Well, I think the important thing for you
thumbs
guys
and loves RSI.
David and I will, I mean, we're going to continue this series throughout the course of the year, which, the focus of this particular series is just to talk to the new investors, those learning to trade right now, new to the market. The amount of things that someone new can learn is tremendous. And
Absolutely.
We'll just take time every now and then to get on the horn, and we'll chit chat about some of the variables that you guys need to consider when jumping in the market, or if Dave is trying to fix his rover.
We're good, man. I just want to make sure it was set at the right temperature.
Perfect.
That's the same thing with pizza rolls. If you put them in the microwave, it's a total different experience in the oven.
Yep.
So
we hope you guys, can take some notes, learn to be disciplined. And this video is particularly effective because I know we had a few of our space wolves overreact to market fluctuations today. So it's a good reminder to be a disciplined investor and remind yourself the key aspects of how you stay calm and steady as you make these decisions. And if there's any particular topics that you want, please drop it in the comment below, and we'll focus more on those in the upcoming videos, whether you want to talk specifically about charting or, setting, the margins you have to set when you enter and exit, and understanding that strategy. Whatever it is you want us to talk about more, drop it in the comments below, and we can dedicate a particular episode specifically to that for you guys.
And please like and subscribe. I got a 7-year-old that is addicted to Legos, and I'd like him to keep up that ample supply as opposed to meth or.
Well, make sure he learns that that's still just a want, not a need.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, good stuff, guys. We'll see you later.
All right, mahalo.